Hi, Cancers. If you want to come on in, have a seat for some symbolic support. Here's your ink blot made in your name and essence if you want to take a screenshot. So you can scry in your own time and terms for shapes or symbols that speak to your psyche and psychic senses. Cancers, as always, thank you so much for being my muse, for holding space for me to share my insights and allowing me to be a guest in your aura. We'll scry your ink for shapes and symbols that speak. We have the tarot and oracle, and the spirit box is already raring to go for any shout outs that may add an audio aspect to our atmosphere. Cancers, thank you to all those who like, share, and subscribe and donate. Warms my heart, truly. I'm grateful, always humbled. And I'm going to close the eyes here. Cleansing the palate, releasing the race and the rush, activating the abstract mind and ancient awareness to perceive and receive symbolic support. Cancer Collective, let's go. I'm going to be turning your ink blot sideways. I'm seeing kisses. It's in it, but there's like a shock between them. Two people like rub their feet and then like zzz. So I'm also seeing a mushroom. I'm also seeing a swamp. Like it feels swampy. What is going on up here? Like, I told her. Like there's I told her there's branches, and like if you're okay, I'm being brought into the show, the swamp thing. I still don't know if it's anyway, the remake of it. And I keep seeing the swamp thing come out and carrying, I think it's a woman. But you know how the landscape around is, though it's like swampy, it's all very lush. Like the browns are very browns. The greens are very green. There's this haze. Haze in this fog and different kind of bugs and creatures. I don't want the swamp to be off-putting. I kind of feel bad that I'm using that terminology, but that's how it's just coming through to me. Cancers, but it kind of feels mystical and magical. You know what I mean? Like you could run into a creature like the swamp thing who's misunderstood or just wants love too. I don't know. This is really quite curious. I'm going to keep going. There's like a wolf or something and a camel head. I've seen okay, now it's like bringing me into like Gotham City. Maybe is it nighttime? Am I in the subconscious swamp? And I really mean that in a mystical way, because the mushroom keeps standing out to me. There's something you have in your subconscious realm, Cancers, that in that connectivity. Run now. I don't know if you run away from it or run towards it or if other people tap into it, it's presented like a swamp so people aren't engaged to like connect with you that way. Do you know what I mean? So it's almost like a protective moat. Okay, I'm going to take this bridge because you have two bridges here. And in the two bridges, there's two creatures in a weird looking tree. And it's like I can go over or under. Oh my goodness, Cancers, this is okay. And then I'm greeted with this creature. Are you guys really working on your psychic skills or your psychedelic ayahuasca mushrooms or any sort of medicine? We'll say medicines. And you know how when there's creatures that they meet there, there's another one. It starts with a D. maybe it's DMT. Okay, so those are the kind of creatures that I feel like are stepping forward to me. So I don't know if you've been on a journey recently, a medicinal journey, or it's coming forward from reflections of another time. The spirit box said, I am eternal. And it's almost like this is the message that's coming through as all these different creatures come through. It's like, I'm realizing, I've realized, I'm reconciling, I am an eternal being, and I'm very, very strong. There's a conversation happening in the heavens. It's kind of like soulmate-y feel if you land in that language, but apply anything, even if it's just like in that connection. And you guys meet and talk. It could be in the subcon, REM state, astral, or even like shamanic underworld stuff. Oh, I just heard like shamanic swamp. Is that okay? Interesting. But there's these white spirits above it. And I'm seeing it like your higher selves communicating and connecting. You're protected by something when you're in this space. Are people waiting for you? I feel like there's other people waiting to talk to you. Cancers, like you are a mentor or a friend to somebody, and you have a connection with, and whether it's, a romantic confidant, platonic, this, that, or the other. But you know what I'm seeing? I'm seeing this, and it's me. Like, that's the message. I don't know if you're giving this message to people, like you're always bringing it back home to them. You're like, see, it's not like it's you, but kind of like it's you. And I'm trying to say this in the kindest way. I'm seeing something, a strong chest. It could be like collarbone, but it does feel more chest-like from a male perspective. And I'm seeing like a hypnotizing heart. Like, I don't know if you have the ability to hypnotize hearts or something along that lines. Cancers, I really kind of feel like I'm all over the place here, but that's okay. I'm going to go with it. That's what we do here. Or our astronauts. We just kind of float around space and time and see what stands out. 7 of Cups is coming through. Look at all those symbols, right? If 7 of Cups, means anything to you, please follow that. If you're new to me, I follow more so the artistry and empathically explore. Bruce. What are you thinking about? You have a lot of resources, a lot of tools, conscious, subconscious, preconscious, psychedelic, psychic, psychology realms. Do you feel like your resources aren't fully being used? I'm back in the hypnotizing thing. It's a little bit of a weird feeling because it's making me a little bit dizzy. It's like if anyone having like vertigo or something along that lines. Somebody trying to put you under a spell. I feel like the swamp thing is part of the soulmate connection. Wheel of Fortunes come through. There's those creatures. But this is a lion, a dragon, a buck.
What do I do?
I guess it's all the houses of Game of Thrones tarot and the wolf. I'm looking for like a dove of peace in the center. I feel like this is in regards to a person specifically. But I might like talk to my partner. I might have this one confidant that I speak to about it, but it's like there's something about this one person I'm trying to like almost like turn a corner with. It's like they come
I told
around.
her.
It's like they come around. It does feel like a female, but it's like when they come around, they always, I don't want to say always, that's dramatic, but it's like they always need a hug from you, or kind of feels a little codependent. What is this that came through? Queen of Cups. I feel like you hold them in high heart regard, but you can see a cycle of something. Queen of Spears. And you might want to, you might be a little tired. King of Coins, the Tower, and Justice. Okay. So Cancers, this feels like it's around your aura. So this might be in the company you keep or in the company you're at, and you're witnessing things. You know what I mean? These might be stories around you, and you're somebody that observes them, that people come to talk. Like you might be in human resources or something. And it's like you have all the pieces and people can't seem to put it together because they're not communicating in all the spokes of the wheels, but you're the was it like lug nut or something, whatever the middle thing is that holds it all together. And something about composure. Whether it's you and or your male and female energies are in that swamp thing kind of soul connection, and they're very united, or it's a partner, whatever their earthly expressions are. But I feel like there's people around you that go through tower moments, and you're kind of like the justice bearer, or again, it's like a communicating or a talking them through to kind of like bring it all around. But see what you said? But did you see what you said? Do you know what I'm saying? Like it's almost like an outreach. You can tell when someone's blowing smoke. Sometimes people just need a hug, and other times you're like, you only come and see me when you're hurting. 8 of Spears. I just heard like, I have goals too, you know. Like, I have goals too. But you hear so many stories from people around you. I keep hearing specifically from the company you keep. Now, whether it's the company or the company you're in or the company of others. 7 of Swords. Ace of Cups. I kind of feel like I'm looking at this like, is it worth it? Is it worth it? Hangman. I'm not sure. Is this worth it? Ace of Spears is on the bottom. Behind the Hangman is the Page of Spears. So it's kind of like, from the Cancer perspective, you nurture to help people understand or see what you can see without saying anything, because it's like I can't say all the different pieces, but I can inspire them to consider different points of view. Maybe this is of yourself, but this is the way I'm sensing it from, like, again, being in that Wheel of Fortune, the center spoke, and there's all these other pieces of the puzzle, pieces of the pie. And it's like, okay, I'm not sure if this is worth the coin, the payment, the contract. Maybe there's a renegotiating of your contract. Lady, there's definitely something female about it. Whether you're the female or it's in regards to female, this, that, or the other. And you're like, I'm not really, maybe there is a looking at talking to somebody about getting a pay raise. Because you're like, I'm not sure. But when I see the wheel all put together from the heart space of the Cancer collective, and I see the 8 of Spears, and it's like, well, I have places I want to go to, and I want to go do these other things. Seven of Swords, 9 of Swords, and behind 9 of Swords was Judgment. I feel like you are in a role. This is really interesting. Yeah, because they're all coming in. Like, oh, I need this hug, Cancer. I need this hug. You make me feel so much better. And not that they're blowing smoke up your, hoo-hoo, but they're, whether it's personal or professional, you're like, okay, because you're such a nurturer and caring companion and confidant. But then, like, as I'm seeing the Judgment card, it's like, I don't know if I can do this. Like, I don't know if I can help anymore. I don't know. Maybe there's a boundary, but they come up. It's like some of them want to go to battle and they're not qualified. Some of them are like, what's that? Their bark is bigger than their bite. Some of them have built their own cage. Does that make sense? Cancers. Who's your company that you're keeping? I'm going to flip this and get another perspective as we're going to go over and now we're going to go under and see what's going on for the Cancers. Yeah, you got eyes. You know what's going on. It's like you have fish for eyes. You can see people swimming around things. I don't know why this seems so external to you, Cancers, if that message in and of itself is meaningful. Because I'm seeing glasses. And it's like there's, I don't know if it's you yourself, like being if you're resonating with the story. And if it's not yours, absolutely release it. It's a general message. But people don't think you can see. But you can. You can, because you're listening. If it's almost like Cancers have the ability, if I can't see, it's because I'm listening. I can hear what the people are saying because they're literally talking to me about it. And then I'm seeing like your crab hands, and you're like, burr, 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 burr. Oh my goodness. Oh my goodness. We're here for the Cancer Collective. I'm seeing a sumo wrestler that looks like it's in a video game. And now it's transforming to Donkey Kong or King Kong. Oh, okay. Triangle, choices, and indecision. Choices, indecision. I feel like you are the pearl to people. You're the pearl to people. But you also attract snakes, jealousy and gossip, justice and documents. And you want peace. Serenity now. Serenity now. Okay, it's turned over. We're done. So this is where that story came from. It's like you are a pearl. I'm seeing it like mother's pearls. But that also draws a lot of snakes. It also draws a lot of jealousy and gossip, injustice. But it's like you're the one who's doing the justice, the judgments, and the documents to like sign the dotted line. To say like maybe you're a mediator or like I said, like HR or something like that. Or an in-between something or other in a triangle of indecision of any sort of circumstances of power struggles or power dynamics. And you're kind of like the peacekeeper or the peacemaker. And you're that center spoke of peace. Okay. Cancers. I could see why, like starting from the swamp thing, where you might really cherish what you have personally, because maybe you've been through some stuff. Vengeful. And maybe you were vengeful at some point in times. But you're trying to move on, or you're trying to embody a new life, or you just want to do things peacefully. But for some reason, I don't know if it's your position or you're still just a desirable pearl in the ocean of all that is jeweled connectivity. And even see, I don't know if the lighting will let it come through. Like see that green, that jeweled green, the webbing of like the swamp thing. Cancers, you're so helpful. It hurts sometimes. Closing the door of completion. There might be a cycle with a company or the company you keep. And I know I've said that a few times. And maybe it's not that you're going to, leave or disregard them. Sacred contract. You're just going to be shifting the way you interact with them. You might be getting a new position, new job, or you might actually be talking to this friend or some sort of company you keep and saying, hey, can we talk? Like, whatever the case may be. And you might be shifting or trying to guide and nurture the friendship, the relationship into, a healthiness that's healthy for everyone versus like the little bit of a creepy codependency feeling I've got. And with the closing the door completion, it's crown games and right use of power that's right beside it. Because I feel like you might be in a power position with a lot of people.
False.
But they don't always recognize their power. And how maybe there's misuse of power in a company. People might be misusing their personal power with you. And I don't know. I really do get the sense that cancers are like Donkey Kong, King Kong, whatever that is, like closing the door on this nonsense or asking for even reciprocity. If it's coin, I need a raise, or I'd like to talk about getting a raise, to the contract with maybe a friend. And you're like, okay, I'm not going to see them as much, or this, that, or the other. We're going to have a talk. They keep doing the same thing over and over again. You know what I mean? Coming to life is there. We're closing out for the Cancer Collective. If there's any closing out messages, I don't know if I said like, share, subscribe, but movement, coming to life and movement, talisman, which is always my path card, rescue and rescue and rock bottom, field of dreams. This is what a lovely way. Making a choice. Cancers are making choices, making contracts, new contracts. Okay, give me a moment here. Coming to life and movement. This is inevitably what's happening all around you. There might be a lot of movement around you, but you feel still. And it's like, I want to get that wheel turning. And that's happening by you recognizing and having maybe some of these conversations and the people that you help to get them moving. It's like, okay, I really need you to hear me and heed. And I'm going to follow up with your actions versus having 31. The same conversation. This could be a cycle from when you were 31 that started around when you were 31. Or it's been for 31 days, something along that lines. But it's like you're picking up cancers and moving towards what moves you. And that's where the talisman card came up. And you're only going to take like what I want to say, like what you can carry, but I mean that from a compassionate load. Like maybe you'll be going from full-time to part-time and doing something completely different if you need a full-time job. You're like, I can only, if you can't give me a raise, I'm going to do this part-time and I'm going to find something else to fill that because the reciprocity is just not equal, or it's not resonating. Because whatever you're doing, I feel like you do a lot of rescuing for people that are at rock bottom. And I'm not trying to be ill-compassionate that your position, it feels important. But the Cancer also needs nurturing and is important too, like honoring that and saying, and maybe this is happening in a complete other respect where you're getting so much accolade for what you're doing, and that is the best thing. But in this case, the way it's feeling, it's like, I'm helping all these people in my position or in the company I'm keeping, but who's there to help me? To keep my dreams alive, to keep all the versions of me I do feel like there's, again, that swamp thing, that partner, something's misunderstood. That's going to come out of that jeweled emerald browns and greens. Like maybe even you just like to camp a lot and be in nature, and that's what rejuvenates you. And you can't expect it. And that's the funny thing. It's like you can't expect a pearl from somebody who's, maybe, or other people that are healing, or your company that's not in a position financially to give you a raise, something like that. So it's not like you're trying to get blood from a stone. It's just kind of like, can we look at this? Can we look at this?
It's bright.
Yeah. It's a bright future because I feel like you are the brightness, and your sight is very, very clear, and you're connected in these realms beyond just the surface. And I don't know if people necessarily recognize that as they're talking to you, that you're connecting with them, or what they hide behind certain words, or they don't think maybe you recognize certain cycles. Nonetheless, I don't think it's malicious in nature, but you can pick these things out. So you're connecting with people, places, or things in these levels that are both from a psychology standpoint, from the psychic realm, and very psychedelic. And there is this interconnected nature thing about it. And you can see through it. Ooh, Cancers. I'm back to the hypnotizing thing again. Maybe you're going through maybe I say I thought pussycat. So is that Sylvester or Elmer Fudd or something? I don't know. I say, yeah. Maybe you're just going through past life regressions, and some hypnotherapy would help. Maybe you are a hypnotist. Are you a hypnotist? Do people try and hypnotize you? A Cancer? Really? Okay. Anyway, I'm going to leave it there. Cancers, we'll revisit your other page, and we'll do a color ink blot and get a little full spectrum of your contrast and color. And I will see you again very, very soon in May. Thank you.